Perfectionist Auto Sound and Security is located at 801 East 82nd Avenue, Suite D1. We are conveniently located in South Anchorage near the Diamond Center Mall. We are open 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday to Saturday. We have well-lit signs on both sides of our shop so customers can easily find us from either direction.
Hi, I'm Brentan Adams, Sales Manager at Perfectionist Auto Sound and Security. I've been working at Perfectionist Auto Sound and Security for just over about a year. So my primary responsibilities here at Perfectionist Auto Sound and Security is maintaining the sales floor, obviously talking to customers and getting the things they need, and then helping the install team in any way I can. So one of my unique talents, I think, is being able to relate to any customer in any situation. I try to put myself in their shoes to have a better understanding of what they need. Some customers don't know how to articulate what they may need in a specific way or language that communicates to our profession. So that's really what I try to strive for here at Perfectionist Auto Sound and Security. So one of the greatest things working here at Perfectionist Auto Sound and Security is the team. So everybody here helps me in any way, shape, or form that they can. Seeing as I'm the new guy on the block, I always go back to them to make sure that I'm doing the things right to help the customer and our team perform to the best possible way.
My name is Aaron Garcia. I'm the installation manager here at Perfectionist Auto Sound and Security. I've been working at Perfectionist for nearly 18 years now. I started here January 2007 when I was a junior in high school. My primary responsibility here is typically the first one here at the shop. So I get everything opened up, I get the cars pulled out, I rearrange the parking lot, which is very crucial in the wintertime to make sure it doesn't get crazy out there. Then I get the job board filled out, make sure that everybody's got their line of work set up, pull all the gear for the jobs for the day so nobody has to worry about asking anybody for gear. And then I'm alongside everybody doing it all too. You know, I'm doing remote starts, we're doing lighting, I do 95% of the custom fabrication. But on top of that, I'm also playing sales as well. So I talk to clients, I do invoicing, emails, I do a lot of the orders for the shop as well, inventory, kind of all around everything. Unique talents and skills that I bring to Perfectionist Auto Sound and Security would be definitely my custom fabrication skill set. I've spent nearly 2 decades learning and going to different classes and building my skill set, and I feel like there's no car that I would turn down as far as building anything for a client that they wanted me to do. Troubleshooting, I'm a really good problem solver, so there's pretty much nothing that we haven't figured out here in the shop. I think managing chaos, and by that I mean here in the wintertime, with 3 technicians, we work on as many as 15, 20 vehicles a day, and it gets pretty crazy here, and being able to distribute the work properly and make sure everybody gets done right there at the end of the day and helping each other out and just managing all that, it gets pretty crazy around here, and I feel like I'm really good at that. Unique talents and skills that I feel like I bring to the business is my custom fabrication skill set. I've been working at it for a lot of years. There's almost no job that I turn down when people walk through the door and want some custom work done on their vehicle. Troubleshooting, I feel like I'm a really good problem solver. We can figure out just about anything here at the shop. What I like most about working here at Perfectionist Auto Sound and Security is the amount of work that we put into these cars that we work on and these, our clients' vehicles is the reaction that we get from our client when they first get to sit down and hear that amazing audio system we just created for them, and seeing that big smile on their face and the appreciation for the amount of work that we just put into their vehicle. That makes everything all worth it here. We all have our grumpy times working on cars and getting angry at stupid stuff that's not doing what it's supposed to be doing, but you spend a week on a car, 2 weeks on a car, and that first smile from the customer makes it all worth it.
Hi, I'm Brentan Adams. I've been working sales here at Perfectionist Auto Sound and Security for just over 1 year. My main primary responsibility is to help customers, whether it be through the front door or via phone. I also am in charge of getting parts coming in if they're special ordered, making sure they arrive at a timely manner, and helping the install team as much as I possibly can. What I enjoy most here at Perfectionist Auto Sound and Security in the sales is my ability to sell anything, as long as my team can do it. That I'm not clamped in to just this or just that. I can accommodate the customer as much as possible, which definitely helps everybody in the long run. What I enjoy most as far as sailing for customers is something like their dream. So let's say someone's been dreaming about the sound system for their car, they've been piecing it together, and we give them the opportunity to hear it for the first time. The joy across their face and seeing that dream come to realization is just a joy in its own right.
Welcome to Perfectionist Auto Sound and Security. This is our 25th anniversary, so we're gonna give you a tour of our facility and show you around and show you why we should be the 3-time retailer of the year. All right, so this is the beginning of the store. This is our customer waiting area. So what we done is we got some nice chairs, we got some nice reading material. This is actually pretty cool. This is a custom table that we had made. Kind of funny, any guys in the industry, I can appreciate this. I curbed a couple rims on my truck, and so we were kind of laughing because I keep buying new ones. So we had a local machine shop make this table for us. But we got coffee, we got nice TV going. You can see the granite and everything. And it's a nice area for customers to hang out and just check things out, relax, and it kind of gives us some separation from them just staring at us. So it's a pretty comfortable area, and this is something we felt like was really needed because we'd have customers just staring at us like we're in a fishbowl, you know? But it works out. We also do free Wi-Fi, which is pretty cool. So this thing is pretty neat. You can just tap it or you can scan the code and get Wi-Fi. This is pretty cool to get reviews. So as your client's sitting here, you can just tap that as well and get Google reviews. So we try to have some cool technology. Yeah, so this is our waiting area. And then as we get into the rest of the store, it's a nice space. It's 1,250 square feet. And we've actually been in this building now for 18 years, if you can believe that. Our building before was across the way. We were in that building for 7 years. So when I had this built, the nice thing is we're 25 feet wide, we're 50 feet deep, and we have 12-foot ceilings. And you can see some of the metal beams. And the idea is it's the strength that we're gonna be here for a long time. So even back 18 years ago in 06, we moved in, I felt like, man, we're gonna have some longevity. So this last summer, we actually did a whole remodel of the showroom. And so if any guys have been here before or seen our previous things, we wanted to keep up with the times and actually just, you know, modernize and do stuff. So we did this awesome lighting, and we partnered up with MSC. So the back corner is all Helix and Blam and Braxton stuff. So, but it would kind of give us a new vibe, and like the best compliment we can get from clients is they walk in and they say, man, is this a franchise? You know? So I think that's a big compliment when we tell them, nope, this is the only one. Yeah, as you can see, we got 2 sales counters. The nice thing about, or unique about Perfectionist is that we're a very busy store. We're high volume. We do a lot of remote starts, as you can imagine, being in Alaska. So the idea is the flow. So we look at the flow. Our biggest piece of real estate is right here where we have our remote starts and everything. And so the client comes in, they see the biggest piece of real estate. And as you can see from all of our awards, we've been CompuStar's top retailer, you know, for multiple years. And this is the home of CompuStar too, which is super cool. So CompuStar was actually invented here in Alaska. I was actually the 3rd employee for CompuStar back in 1999. And yeah, so I ended up being a big part of CompuStar. So we take a lot of pride in that. And anyways, the client comes in, they have this flow, and we book everybody in the morning at 9 o'clock. So the clients just kind of split, you know, next. And it's pretty cool. So I always invite people to come up in the wintertime to see the madness. You know, the machine goes pretty crazy. But yeah, so anyway, come check that out. And then, of course, we have our little Scion. We've had this since 2012, and it's pretty much been a fixture in the showroom, but it's nice. It's a great tool that we can show clients, and it's been around forever. And then our new area here, this is really focused on, you know, pure music. I mean, the idea of what we do as retailers and in this industry, right, is music. We want to feel people to have that connection, like, you know, you go to your first concert and you remember the moments that you had and things like that. So that's where you kind of get this idea from, you know. And our job is, you know, car audio experts, right, is to be able to recreate that emotional connection that clients have with music. So this area does that, and then this is kind of our really cool, like, it's the idea is it's like an engineer desk. And the idea is when we're with a client, we can actually pull this program up. We connect to our DSP here from Helix. And then what we can do is we talk to the client. We say, okay, what kind of music you like? And the idea would be now with this big 85-inch screen, we're putting the client in as if they're the engineer for the music. So we say, hey, imagine your favorite artist is on the other side and you're listening to them sing. Now you're the engineer. You can adjust all the EQ curve, time alignment, all this cool stuff. And it really puts them in the middle of it to where they feel like, wow, they get it. So we found that this is a really great tool for selling DSP, which, is kind of tough for some guys. And this really helped us out. I mean, a demo car is always great. Summertime, we have a couple of them that employees have, but for not having that, this is what we've been showing. And then over here, of course, we just have kind of the standard audio wall, your speakers and amps and stuff. But, Retailer of the Year is amazing, but this one is local, right? So Best of Alaska for me is the people's choice. We don't market it like crazy. We don't do all this stuff. We just put one thing. Hey, if you think we deserve it, please give us a shot. And as you can see, I mean, it goes years and years and years, and more CompuStar awards and things like that. So, we take a lot of pride in it. And I feel like, as a retailer, you have to be able to connect the community. You have to be part of that because without the community, there's no shop. All right, guys. So we're going to kind of do a little bit of specific stuff with you. So this is some cool things that we've done. Basically, we built all these docks and different things here. And we want to be able to show clients, our lighting. Now, in Alaska, we kind of say you got two things to make you Alaska ready. You got to get a remote start and you got to update your lighting. Right now, we're getting about 6 to 7 hours of sunlight a day, so lighting is really big. So we do a ton of light bars and pods. We do a ton of LED upgrades. And this is nice because it's basically the client can come through, they can press buttons and kind of just see what's going on. And it's something they kind of sell themselves, So the whole showroom design is clients can kind of play with different things and then they kind of sell themselves. So when they come up and talk to you, they already kind of know what they're looking for. So this is a really cool wall. We got a couple videos from our manufacturers, vendor partners that we use. And I feel like, if any guys see this video, man, add video to your showroom. It's a huge thing. Clients kind of just hanging out. They get to learn a lot without asking any questions. So then we're going to move on to, like I said, our biggest real estate here. This is our CompuStar display. So we, take a lot of pride in CompuStar. Like I said, I've been with CompuStar for over 25 years. We actually celebrated our 25th last year. And again, remote start's huge. In Alaska, we take a pride on that because we do so many. We're, you can kind of debate with anybody, but I feel like we're the #1 CompuStar dealer in the world. And I'm biased to that because of the numbers that we do based on how many people we have, single store location. And it's nice here, so we can really show everybody the new remotes. Clients, again, can touch and play with things, see which one they like. Gives them kind of the real quick spiel on it. And, we've updated this over the years and kind of with our own graphics and different things, but this thing gets touched every single day. I mean, every client. So that's why we also put our CompuStar plaques there so they can see how we seriously take it. Along the ceiling here, you'll see we do a bunch of rims. So in 2019, we had a really bad year and actually 18, I apologize. 2018, I had another company, a lot of you guys might know, called SoundSkins. I started that back in 2015 with a buddy of mine from Australia. And company was great. We did a lot of stuff. We also opened another company called CompuStar Australia. So I was a distributor for CompuStar there, New Zealand, and some other places. Anyway, 2018, I ended up leaving the company. So that year, between leaving that company and then we had some other things happen, I lost $500,000 in a week, okay? And that was tough, and that's cash flow. It wasn't just like sales, it was literally cash flow. So you're talking $30,000, $40,000 a month. So I came back to the shop, tail between my legs, feeling defeated, talked to the crew, and we tried to figure it out as a team, what could we do to get this money up? So anyway, we decided to get into performance. So this is where the wheels and different things come from. So we decided to get into performance. So we bought a wheel machine, tire balancer, things like that. Started getting into things. And it's funny because some of the companies we deal with, they had this big buy-in, and the buy-in scared us. They're like, okay, you got to do, $10,000 a quarter. We're like, oh my God, how are we going to do this? And we kind of laughed. And it took us a couple months to get started, but that $500,000 loss, we ended up turning into $650,000 next year. So we actually made back the money and then some. So we just show people that we do different wheels. We carry all the major brands and things like that. We do suspension work, so we do drops, we do lifts, exhausts, things like that. So it's pretty cool. What I tell people about Perfectionist is we do anything that doesn't have liquid. So we don't do oil changes, we're not doing brakes, things like that. If it has liquid, we don't touch it. We don't do tint, we don't do clear bra, stuff like that. So this wall here, this section, a little bit off. Like I said, I had left SoundSkins back in 2018, and that was really hard for me because I put everything I had into that place, into that business. And so anyway, took a couple months to myself, and a buddy of mine, Brian Schmidt, a lot of you guys know, kind of kept pushing me and telling me, hey, you got to get back in the game. I didn't want to, I felt defeated, but after a couple months, he finally talked me into it. So actually me and him started SoundShield. We launched in August 2019, and it's been killing it, so it's been a big, huge success. So obviously in the shop, we got to show it and push it, and we do a ton of SoundShield here. And some of the installs you've probably seen from my guy Aaron or on our Perfectionist pages and things like that. So we take a lot of pride in that. All right, so this is the other side of the showroom here. So this is pretty cool. This is one of our partners, MTI Acoustics. Probably know Chris Pate, also a retailer of the year. So we're one of the first guys that got this cool display, and we do a lot of their enclosures. So we just want to have something cool to show clients, so they come in and automatically ask questions. Now this cool display here is a very functional display. This is probably one of my favorite things here, is you can kind of see how it has factory sound, upgrade speakers, add an amp, add a sub. So the client, again, they can come over here and literally, they'll listen to music, and they can upgrade, this and that, and kind of play these things. And again, we don't have to explain nothing to them. They're over here just pushing buttons and they get it, which is great. So by the time they come up to us at the desk, they're just like, man, I love how I added the amp and the sub. I need to do that to my car. So that's a huge win there. Again, more video, showing backup cameras, dash cams are a huge market. This is a cool display. This will literally show clients, factory sound, and then actually when we do sound treatment. A lot of shops there, that's perfect timing. Shameless plug. A lot of clients don't really understand how important sound treatment is. So the biggest thing I think as a retailer that we try to do is educate our clients. So we want to be able to show them and literally give them an example. Like, this is your car now. This is what your car can sound like with the difference. And then with the videos playing right above it, it's basically backing that up. And again, if we're over here with the client, they can learn over here and understand it themselves. You got mobile video, not as big category as it used to be, but man, we still do some, if you can believe it. And then some radar stuff, radar, laser jammers, important things. Welcome to Perfectionist Auto Sound again. So wanted to show you one of our counters. So again, everything's about impression, right? So another thing that we like to think about as we've walked through the showroom, what you'll see is perfectionists everywhere. So what we try to teach and tell people, especially around the world with all the different retailers we work with, is what brand do we sell? We sell Perfectionists. So anyway, client walks up to us, nice thing is we have our scheduling program here, which you can see. So this is really cool. We've been using this for a while, and I know there's all kind of different systems out there, but this is what works for us. Crazy thing, which you guys can see. So we're actually closed for the holidays, but when we get into our schedule, we're booked out for weeks and weeks and weeks. And anyway, it's been a little bit of a challenge. It's a blessing and a curse that, we are who we are because we're so busy. So right now we're booking about 8 weeks out, which makes sales kind of tough because you can't close more sales. But we've been doing pretty good with it. Our point of sale program is called Sage. So everybody knows how to use it, which is great. So we teach all the employees so everybody can sell and everybody can install. So it's a very versatile thing. If anybody's in trouble, they all answer the phones, they're all answering things like that. So, we have a couple tools up here, just kind of, we made these in-house to be able to show clients quickly which different remotes, we kind of have a best, better, good idea, lighting, things like that. We do some financing as well. But yeah, it's pretty straightforward. We just try to keep everything nice and clean and simple. For an example, during a remote start season in our year, we'll do over 4,000 remote starts. So that's crazy when you think you got 3.5 people doing that in the back. So the amount of volume that we do is pretty unmatched to most shops. And I'm not bragging about that. It's just something we've been doing for years and years and years. And we had to learn how to become very efficient. So with each sales desk that we have, it's part of the efficiency. We can get people checked in. One of the processes that we do is we take a deposit for every client. It doesn't matter what it is. You want to get a remote start from us or audio or anything, you're going to have a deposit to hold your spot. Then we create the invoice, which is awesome. So the invoice is done, everything is set up, we book your appointment, and then the day before your appointment, we'll give you a confirmation call, let you know, hey, your appointment's tomorrow. Client comes in, and what we do before that, after we confirm, is we print every invoice out the night before. So then we'll have a stack of invoices sitting here. So when the whole rush comes in the morning, we get this showroom cleared out in 15 minutes. We don't have to type anything. We don't have to think about it. It's already done because we already confirmed, already got your deposit, we already got your invoice printed. We just grab your keys, double check your phone number and everything else, and then you're out. What we found is by taking that deposit from the client and talking with them and showing them everything in the process, that our cancellations have gone way down. Like we probably have a 1% cancel rate, and I'm not even exaggerating. I mean, most of the time the cancel happens is someone sick or someone wrecked their car. Other than that, people don't miss their appointments, So that's a beautiful thing, and we're really proud of that. So yeah, so anyway, this is our showroom. This is our process. This is the things. We're gonna show you the customer bathrooms and things like that, and then we're gonna go into the bay and then show you the kitchen where all the magic happens. So we have our customer bathrooms. Pretty nice, I think we keep it clean. This is the ladies' bathroom. We get a lot of compliments on the cleanliness of our place, and especially if you know women ain't gonna sit on a dirty toilet, right? So the idea is if the bathroom's nice and clean, women are comfortable, then the husband can spend more money. So this one's more themed for the guys. We got the classic Marilyn Monroe. All right, guys, so this is my office, and it's pretty messy, typical owner office, trying to figure my life out, paperwork, another fish tank, boxes and stuff. But, this is real. This is what we do. This is kind of our war board. It's kind of cool. One of our war boards that we have. And, guys just put parts and stuff that we need. Here's some of our award wall here. So our first Retailer of the Year award, our second Retailer of the Year. This one is awesome. This one is a 20-year award I got from being with CompuStar. So it was my 20 years with CompuStar. And then as some of you guys remember, back in COVID days, all the industry got together and we were making face shields. So this one I kept for myself. You can see this is number 1025. So, we got together and we made these things, and I ended up making about 2,000 of these, and I did them all by hand. So my laser, we cut these things out, and then I routed by hand every day. So I'd manufacture all day long, and at nighttime I do assembly. So half of the crew was in quarantine, so I was pretty much by myself in the shop for about 70 days straight, and I know that a lot of us went through stuff and lost some friends, but I keep that there to remind me that, we did something good for the community. Yeah, this is where we keep most of our stuff. Now the cool thing about this is you can see these racks here. So I built these racks, 18 years ago, and when the shop was getting built, I didn't have any tools or anything over here, so I literally would measure everything and cut everything at the other shop and then carry everything over and start building and assembling. But 18 years, they're still holding up pretty good. But this is how we keep everything pretty organized. We have our CompuStar here, again, it's the biggest real estate. Got our audio down, and you can just see everything's about the flow. It's just flow, flow, flow. We also do all of our RAs back here, so when we have defective and things, we have an area there. Kind of the funny thing about this room was when I had the building built, I was going to actually have this as my office. But then, it was pretty big, and I felt like that's kind of arrogant to have this much space for me. So ended up making it a stockroom, which turned out better. So anyway, yeah, this is kind of the behind the scenes. A lot of, obviously clients never see nothing back here, but this is like the vault. There's a lot of money in here, but again, the flow is the most important. Installers come in, they grab their module, they grab their brain, they grab the RF kit, whatever they need. They grab harnesses up here. If they need a head unit, boom, grab it out the door. So yeah. And then, this is kind of cool. So remember I was talking about how we do deposits on all the invoicing and different things. So after we do a sale, we'll literally pull everything and set it aside. So this is the sold shelf. So everything over here, you can see these are already over here for clients that already put deposits down. So this way we always know we have the product in stock. We never second guessing that. So anything kind of gets over here. And then we have a big old rack upstairs with way more stuff that's for deposits and sales that are already done. So yeah. All right, guys, so this is the secondary vault. So this one's upstairs. So as you can see, we got these big racks up here, a lot of different inventory. This is pretty cool. So we're the distributor for Alaska for Lucas lighting. So you can see all the different Lucas lights here that we have. So we sell a ton of lighting. We're pretty proud of this because we built this brand from nothing. And now, from what they tell me, we're one of their best distributors in the country. So that's pretty cool. Again, what I was saying, any of these things you see with invoices, these are all deposits pre-sold. And, it's all of our different accessories and things like that. So a lot of times, this is Aaron's area. Guys gonna meet Aaron here pretty soon. But generally, you got all your dash kits, you got the install parts, you got all these different things. And so we just try to keep all this stuff together and organized as possible.
Hey guys, my name's Aaron Garcia. I'm the installation manager here at Perfectionist Auto Sound. I've been working here for going on 18 years now. My primary responsibilities every day is just making sure my guys are taken care of, but keeping up with the workload at the same time. I'm usually the first one here, so what I do, I get here, make sure the board gets all set up, and all the jobs are all lined out. I get all the gear set aside for my guys, so there's no questions asked on, who's doing what or what's going down during the day, so I have all the answers. And then I do installs too, so I'm doing lighting. We do a lot of remote starts here in the wintertime, building boxes, doing basic audio and even advanced audio with that. What I like most about working here at Perfectionist is the mostly the end result. When the customers come and see the amount of work that we put in all their vehicles and the smile on their face. You can't get that anywhere else, I feel like, and that's why we do it. It's because customer satisfaction makes us all feel really good about the work that we put into the vehicles. And, I enjoy working on the cars too. Put so many years in and develop a love for what we do. We're doing it almost 2 decades and wouldn't have it any other way. I feel like my specialty here at the shop is definitely custom fabrication, as I do about 95% of it here. I do enjoy getting on the computer, doing laser design, and bringing ideas to life that you can only really think of in your head, and then you see it after you put it together. I love that. And hey, this is Aaron with Perfectionist Auto Sound and Security. We're gonna do a walkthrough around the shop. Come on this way. So this is my desk area, my little cave in the corner. It's kind of where I do all my Lucas lighting warranty. We're the distributors of Alaska. That's where I do my laser design, set aside dealer orders and whatnot. So we've got our universal laser system over here. So this is our board that I get filled out every morning. So as soon as I get to the shop, I pull the cars out, grab all the invoices that we had printed out yesterday for today's work. I fill out the board. We've got the vehicle we're working on, the job description, last name of the client, the amount of labor that we've sold, and I fill it out with whoever's working on the vehicle. And we set up timers for everything when we start the vehicle, so then when we're done, write up how long the job took, and then we can figure out if we were profitable or not. This is the newest addition to the shop. We've got 4 Bamboo Lab 3D printers that we've been working with MSC on learning Fusion 360 and adapting Helix speakers to the vehicle by taking some of their pre-made designs and fusing them together with what we design for vehicle-specific applications. So this is kind of where we put all of our installation accessories. We've got wire racks for 4 gauge, 8 gauge, speaker wire, all our primary wire. We don't have everything on mobile spools or anything, but as far as wall usage and space, our screws and heat shrink, we've got all our ferrules over here. Pretty much anything and everything you need is over here. Over here in the corner, we've got our snap-on wheel and tire mounting and balancing machines. So Eric here at the shop, that's my wheel and tire specialist. All right, so this is our upholstery area. So we've got all our vinyl materials, suede, everything stored up here. This is where we upholster anything we need to do as far as vinyl wrapping or any suede work. We also do all our sound treatment installs over here as well. So break this out. That's what we'll cut on and use any of our sound shield material and cut right here. All right, this is our lift area. There really hasn't been much of anything that we haven't been able to fit on it. Gets kind of sketchy with a 4-door long bed dually, but we use this for doing suspension, wheels and tires, LED underbody kits, wheel ring kits, train horn kits, anything, man. It makes everything in life a lot easier. This is my area, a couple Snap-on toolboxes. It's where all my overflow tools go. Anything that I use on the daily gets stored here in my cart. It's about 90% of what I use is right here on top. And then that way I can roll it to every car and every job that we work on. I'm not traveling back and forth to the toolbox, wasting time. So. This is the fabrication kitchen. It's where all the magic happens. It's kind of messy at the moment, but it wouldn't be if we weren't working in it all the time. So over here, we've kind of got our whole metal fabrication side. We've got metal brake, metal shears, our bandsaw, welding table. We've got our polishing tool over there, our welder over in the corner. We've got a couple drill presses, hydraulic press for doing pressed grills, and we've got our mobile fiberglass cart. Also assembled 99% of all our boxes on top of this as well. Wood storage. We've got pretty much every Mobile Solutions template ever made. Table saw. We've got a downdraft table, so that's where all of our sanding, jigsawing, anything that we'll be cutting kind of gets sucked down in there. There's a whole air system built into the table saw there. Our 4 router tables, and everything help keep dust as much down. It's kind of why we got the wood shop in a separate room, so we're not getting all sawdust and all the cars we're working on dirty and whatnot. Our air compressor lives and it's all sealed up with insulation and everything, kind of keep it quieter over there in the corner. And then we've got our dust collection system built into this room. All our router bits and storage for those over here. Anything that gets painted over here. Use some cool Tom Miller tricks using the table and the blow dryer. It's a mess, but this is where it all happens. This spot right here in the bay, next to my toolbox, John's toolbox, and the wood shop would technically be our long-term project area, just because it's less traveling in the shop to get to the vehicle from the custom bay area. But this bike right here, we just got into motorcycle audio, working with Cicada Audio, and Marty Dean came up here and did a little training with us, so we still got to throw this one back together, but super excited on that. So this is a 6,000 square foot facility with 4,000 of it being the install bay. We could fit about 8 to 9 cars in here and work on them comfortably. We've had as many as 15 to 17 in here overnight during the winter time though. There hasn't been anything I haven't been able to fit in this shop, whether it be a 40-foot RV or motorhome, boats, semi-trucks. The closest thing that we wasn't able to fit in here was a double-decker pontoon boat with a slide on it. We had to pull off the slide, deflate the tires on the trailer a little bit, and even then we just barely brushed through, but still got her in here. As far as specialty tools go, we've got our universal laser system, Bamboo Labs 3D printers, the Snap-on wheel and tire machine, the Snap-on lift area, and the wood shop where all the magic happens.
At Perfectionist Auto Sound, as a 12-volt retailer, we offer some things, but we don't do everything. So I kind of joke around and say that we do anything that doesn't have liquid. So obviously we do car audio, we do custom enclosures, we do remote starts, lighting is really big, we do performance to some levels. We do rims and tires, we do lifts, we do drops, a lot of bolt-on things. But generally we kind of stay in that. We try to stick with what we know really well. We don't get into PPF or tint or clear bra, stuff like that, just because, we're a little dusty. And I think those kind of shops, you have to be pretty wet. And so that's something that we just stick true to what we know. At Perfectionist, some things that we're looking at is in moving into the future is I think that, obviously hybrids are starting to get pretty big, so we'll learn about that. And as I was talking about in the Bay, we're actually really excited about motorcycle audio. You know, we got the training last week, and it was pretty amazing, the detail and stuff about that. So cool fact about Alaska, especially with our summertime, we get so much sunlight. You know, at the best we get about 20 hours a day, that we actually per capita have one of the largest motorcycle riding people in the country. So there's a ton of motorcycles, and there's a ton of potential because these guys have been limited to pretty much factory audio and one brand that gets an upgrade. So by us expanding into this, I really feel like this is going to be a big category for us next year. Well, this year, with revenue, it's actually been pretty exciting. We literally in October just had our biggest month revenue-wise that we've ever had in the 25 years I've been here. It was a high six-figure month. It was pretty amazing, and we're actually today's the last day of the month in a sense because tomorrow's Thanksgiving, and it's pretty crazy. We were actually $4,816 away from breaking a goal that we would have never done in November before. So we're kind of bummed out that we're actually going to be closed the whole weekend. But so for us, profit has been up, revenue's been up. I feel like, again, by taking the deposits, being very clear with customers, offering different things, and just really more in depth with the clients, we've actually attracted a higher end client now. So in some levels, we're doing a little bit less volume in the terms of cars through the Bay, but they're all higher tickets. And with that, we can spend more time with the vehicle and do more high-end things. Some of the things that we attribute to our huge year this year is, you know, we put a lot of work into the name Perfectionist. And I feel like that's been a huge thing. You know, we just got a lot of history. We got a good name in our state. And like I said, if you go on our Google reviews, you'll see all these compliments that we get. And you know, I just think it's a combination of longevity, you know, maintaining the brand, maintaining the store. You know, a lot of the other shops aren't around as much, and even the little guys, they're not doing much. So I feel like when clients come to our shop, as you can see, you know, with the showroom and the tour, there's not another facility that's as nice as ours in Alaska. And I think that clients are now looking, you know, they want to spend the money. They want to go somewhere and feel like, you know, they're getting something. And, you know, if you build it, they will come. And we built it, you know. I feel like we have the most high-end facility around, and we always have beautiful vehicles. And when clients see that and they see the attention to detail, you know, they want to be here. They want to be part of the Perfectionist family. In regards to our employee practices and things like that, and policies, yeah, so we do definitely have an employee handbook. That was a hard lesson. You know, through the years, like I said, I came to Perfectionist when I was 22 and didn't know anybody. Took over the shop around 23, and we ended up firing everybody and starting over. So I was by myself for a couple months before we hired our first employee. And, you know, we were just trying to figure it out. And that was, you know, its own learning curve. Through the years, you know, we had different situations happen and things. And then I ended up, it's kind of funny, ended up getting sued by a manager that I had that we ended up letting go. And from that point, my lawyer was like, you need an employee handbook. And so now we have a very thorough employee handbook, breaks down everything. So what the things that I learned also too is when you hire a new employee, give them the employee handbook on the first day. You know, I used to just send them home with it, but my lawyer told me again, no, don't do that. Make them do it here on the clock, because that way they're getting paid for it. You know, so we have a page in the back that they have to sign that they received it. So that's a pretty big thing, you know. So every employee gets an employee handbook. It's accessible anytime to anybody. And it's saved us a couple times, definitely. So when it comes to employee vacations, you know, it's been the same policy forever. Basically, you work here for a year, you get a week off. You work for 2 years, you get 2 weeks off. And then it kind of just stays at 2 weeks. Sometimes, you know, guys will take different times, and that's a paid vacation. So if they decide they want to do something else over that, then that's up to them. Holiday pay, we do holiday pay for the days they're off, generally because the shop's closed. And so we try to take care of everybody. I mean, we have pretty good benefits that, you know, keep everybody happy, you know. And it's worked out pretty well. We have a lot of long-term guys that have been with us, and the policy fits everyone pretty nice. So for example, talking about holidays, so I turned 48 this year. When I turned 40, my heart went bad, and it was a viral thing. It just kind of happened. And anyway, so I had what's called dilated cardiomyopathy. And so every year since I got to Perfectionist, there's two things that always happen. Number one, the beginning of the year, January 2nd, we always do a big company breakfast before we work. And so we take everybody out and we sit around and talk about what's the goals for the year are. And then every single year since I've had Perfectionist, I've always bought turkeys for everybody. Back when I was 40 and this happened, I wasn't able to do it because I was so sick. And so my daughter, Amari, she ended up doing it for me. Being that I was so sick and I thought about it, we were always super heavy on Black Friday and work. And it's kind of funny when your heart goes bad, it makes you think about those moments that you could be spending time with your loved ones. And so after that year, I decided that we're not going to do Black Friday anymore. We're not going to do stuff. And I just said, we're going to take the whole weekend off. And I want people to be able to enjoy their family time. And it's been a huge morale booster for everybody. And I feel like, we're blessed. We're a multi-million-dollar store and make good money, and everybody works so hard. And to be able to give them time off, that was a big deal. And we kind of follow that. Next week, for Christmas, we're going to be closed a couple days for Christmas, kind of the same principle, So we're trying to get away from just work all the time and just kind of say, we got to work, but then we got to have family time. The policy for calling in sick, that's kind of such an interesting one, right? So I've always said employees fire themselves. So the people that end up to call in sick a lot generally don't last very long. So we're pretty lenient about it in a sense. Biggest thing is, especially in this day and age, people like to text. In the employee handbook, it says you need to call in, literally. And that's kind of what we try to emphasize that. But the reality is the crew that we have that stays and is solid, and no one ever calls in sick. We just focus on the team, and we know that if somebody misses it, we're going to miss it. Even myself. But generally, hey man, if you're gonna get sick and then you're sick for multiple days, it's like get a doctor's note. So in the last 12 to 18 months, we've definitely had a couple different employees come through the shop. And kind of like I just said, employees fire themselves. I don't wake up and think about coming to work just to fire somebody. I'm too busy. So generally, the people that don't fit into that flow, they'll kind of work themselves out because they can't keep up with the demand. They can't keep up with what's going on. And I tell every employee that works at the shop that, you're your own limitation. So essentially, you want to make more money, then, you got to produce more. You have to give the company a raise. And it's the same thing I had to go through, So I would say the creativity part would be trying to, mentor these people. But again, it's tough when that mindset isn't there. And so then that mindset's not there, they will end up probably quitting more than likely because, again, the pressure of the volume that we do is tough to maintain. So in regards to staff training and training programs and things, I take a lot of pride in this. So as most of you guys know, I'm one of the trainers in our industry. So I've been training for years, ever since we won Retailer of the Year the first time. I've given a lot of time to this industry, and so I believe in that. So basically in that, I believe that we need training too. So we fly trainers up, we fly out to the shows. Like I said, last week we had Cicada here doing a training for us on motorcycle audio. Larry at MSC has been huge on that. We were down in Arizona for a 3D class. They flew us out to Canada for a DSP class. We go to Mobile Solutions, a ton of stuff that we learned is from Brian at Mobile Solutions. And I've had Brian up here a couple times. And so, we're definitely big on that. I feel like that was a limitation on our industry is a lot of people, they just think they know everything and they can figure it out. But, there's so many guys that are willing to give you information, and I'm going to take it if you give it to me. And the same way as I'm going to give it if someone asks for it. So we're huge on that. And we already have a couple shows we're going to next year for trainings and a couple different events. And So that's the only way we can get better is by learning from other people that are better than us. When it comes into incentives for pay based on training and things, we pay pretty high. And again, everybody that's here has been here for a while. So the incentive I really feel like is, hey, you're getting a trip, getting the best food. We spoil our people when we're out or here. Some guys have gotten some raises, but essentially my staff is really well paid, and I don't think that's the incentive. The incentive is, when you think like $1 raise or $2 raise or something in the big picture for what these guys make, that's not really going to affect them much. So I think it's more time off and, the adding value to Perfectionists, adding value to the team is the big goal. Oh man, a great success story with one of my employees. I got to brag about my guy, Aaron. Actually, I got to brag about Aaron and I got to brag about Brentan. Aaron, man, this guy's been with me since he's 17 and he's 35 now. And he had this big goal for himself. He wanted to buy property every 5 years. And this year he bought his 4th property. And it's a nice house, man. He got a family home, big old house, beautiful neighborhood. And, it took a lot of work, a lot of money, a lot of things, but he accomplished it. And so as an employer, and then also like his big bro and mentor, to see him accomplish these goals, and then that on a personal level, knowing that Perfectionist was a big part of it, man, there's not much more satisfying than that, because at the end of the day, right, we want to build an amazing business, but we can't grow unless our people grow. And to be able to see my guy, at 35, the crazy thing, guys, is at 35, for myself, I had 2 big goals. I wanted to win Retailer of the Year, and I wanted to buy out my partner, Jason, from the shop. So 3 weeks before my 35th birthday, I went to my first Knowledge Fest. We won Retailer of the Year that night. And then walking around my sister's house in Texas around the pool, I bought my partner out in 30 minutes, 3 weeks before my 35th. So that was huge, right? So now to see Aaron close on the house and this big house that he wanted to do to provide for his family, and at 35, I was like, wow, bro, like that's a big year for me, it's a big year for you. So that's a huge success story, and I'm so proud of him. And he's a phenomenal installer. He's all that in a bag of chips, right? But at personal level, you don't get to brag about people like that too much. And my guy Brentan came to me about a year ago, and he wasn't really in the industry. He used, we actually used a hiring service to bring him in, and it was kind of funny because needed a haircut and just every situation you could think of. Now to see the guy a year later and he has goals and he's running the front and he's killing it and he's killing sales and every client loves him, and just to see this growth in the last year, and for him to say, I've never been at a place that's so structured, that's huge, man, because that's, I always believe that anything you do is everything you do. And I try to lead by example, and to see him excelling constantly, that's just a huge, beautiful thing. I can't wait to see where he's at a year from now. So Perfectionist is huge with the community. It's been a lot of years since we even participated in the Retailer of the Year. So obviously, we've kept on growing and kept doing our thing. And I'd say one huge community thing, I hate to go back to COVID, but when we did all the face shields as an industry, this is a huge thing for me. And I feel like, me, Jeremy Katz, Brian Schmidt, Jeremy Carlson, a couple of these guys, we were like some of the first guys to get into making these face shields for people. And, a lot of these guys have automation and all these big things, CNCs and stuff. And, I did it because I didn't know what was going to go on with the business. And like I said, I ended up doing over 2,000 face shields all by hand. And, but it saved me. But at the same time, I feel like every person in life has this moment that's their moment. Right? Like you don't know what's going to go on. And at that moment, we thought it was a zombie apocalypse, right? Who knew what was going to go on? And so I had a bunch of people I knew in the industry that were hiding in their house, or they were doing something and they had the tools. And I felt like this is the moment, man, like what difference are you making in the world? And to see our medical people like that, I feel like I think as a whole in the industry, we donated like hundreds of thousands of face shields. I mean, that's incredible, and nobody else could do it except us, you know? So going back to that and different things, you know, locally, this huge. You know, obviously we're doing stuff with homeless shelters. We, you know, raise money for the food banks. We've, you know, had coat drives and charity drives and all type of things here at the shop. And one thing I truly believe is that without the community, if we're not part of that, then there's no us, because the community is who shops here, you know? And every city I go to in the world, I try to see a shop and stuff. And, you know, you go to some shop and they're in, like, I don't know, let's just say Dallas, 2 million people. And they're like, oh, well, my network is the potential clients is 2 million people. You can't service that many people. So at the end of the day, Anchorage is a perfect test bed because we have 300,000 people. You can get anywhere in 15 minutes. So that's your community. And if you think about your life, it's the same principle. In Dallas, everything's 45 minutes away, right? So in that circle of your life that you're staying in, it's probably 15 minutes. It's probably 300,000 people. So that's who you're servicing. So we try to be part of that community because without them, there's no us. And so that was a big thing. And I feel like that's locally what Perfectionist does. Now, industry-wide, you know, as I said, I've been a trainer for the industry for, you know, over a decade, you know, and I've been to Australia when I had my businesses over there training. We've trained in all over the United States. We've trained at every show. So yeah, so I think as an industry person, I've definitely tried my best to help the industry evolve and share with things that we do at Perfectionist to constantly push it, you know. And I know that, you know, we've definitely influenced a lot of shops. I think that if you ask anybody in the industry, Perfectionist has a solid name, you know. And some other things we've done locally too, kind of going locally, nationally, locally, is, you know, we're part of all the big car shows up here. Like every major car event, you know, Perfectionist is always involved with it. You know, we are lucky that we have a lot of good clients with some awesome cars. So we, you know, we sponsored events. We just had Hot Import Nights come up here last summer, which is cool. And that was a big show. Then we had a couple other big shows up here. And you're talking, you know, hundreds of cars. And then even our 25th anniversary party we had in July, we had this entire parking lot, which you'll see from the videos, filled up. We probably had about 200 cars here. And thousands of people came through to celebrate with us, and it was an amazing event. And I feel like, you know, anytime Perfectionist does an event or block parties or anything, you know, it's always a big turnout and people look forward to them. We take a lot of pride in that, man. You know, it's a lot of years of work to get us to that level, but it's been really good 25 years doing that. So industry events that we love to be a part of, obviously Knowledge Fest, shameless plug for Retailer of the Year. Master Tech Expo has been really big. You know, we just went to this awesome show called the Dino's Get Down, and that was incredible. They think they had something like 9,000 trucks there. Insane show down in Arizona. We did a CMA Expo up in Canada. And then we've attended a couple shows in Australia for kind of their, it's called CAM, Cardio Masters Convention. So we've done those. And, you know, I feel like anything industry-wide, we love to be a part of it because we just want to add value. You know, we just want to be able to come to the classes, and if it's something to where they ask us to speak or we can be part of things, you know, like at MSC trainings, I've got to speak at a couple of those, and you know, it's awesome because I feel like it took a long time for people to see what Perfectionists can do, and the pride in it is that after all these years, you know, it's a name. Like, you know, we're an industry name. I feel like we're a pillar with the history of what Perfectionist is and the brands that we're a part of: CompuStar, SoundShield, SoundSkins, CompuStar Australia. You know, even I'd say like Mobile Solutions, we've done so much stuff with them. You know, we've done so much stuff with Knowledge Fest, and to be part of that and get known in the industry, it's like how many, you know, retailers can say that they've helped so many retailers stay in business? How many shops can say that they can do these multiple things, own multiple brands, create, you know, success in all these things and still maintain excellence, you know? So it's a lot of work, you know, it's a lot of sleepless nights, but we do it because we want to always make sure that we represent the industry well. So describe any awards that we've received. Well, you come to the right place. So as you see from the videos, I mean, the whole walls, we literally are almost out of wall space, and not being arrogant by any means. We love it. We just recently won Best of Alaska again, and I know it's funny now because people, literally my buddy who's helping me with the video said, "Man, you always win that award." And it's funny, but it's like, that's such an important award to me because it's the people's choice. We make one post and we say, "Hey, if you think we deserve it, we appreciate you," and that's it. I'm not begging people, I'm not doing nothing, and then we forget about it. And then the people choose. So Best of Alaska, we've won, man, I'd say probably the last 15, 16 years we've won. And we lost one year, we took second place one time, and it happens, it's all good. We just figured out. But then you can see from the CompuStar Awards, we've been their Dealer of the Year. Since 2009, I'd say we've been their Dealer of the Year. And then we got that, obviously we were 2-time Retailer of the Year. One accolade that I'm so proud of that I don't think anybody else can say is we got 2 Sales Pros of the Year. So my daughter was actually the very first woman to receive that. And that year that she won, we also won Best Online Presence, which is super cool. So we're the first father and daughter to win a national award on the same night. We have Rookie of the Year. We've had a couple of our people up in the top 5. Aaron has been in the top 12 for Installer of the Year. And there's a lot of accolades. We're really proud of that. And we don't take it for granted. Every time we get an award, it's a big deal because, it can all be gone. All right, why do I believe Perfectionist Auto Sound and Security should win the Retailer of the Year award? Well, it's pretty much this, man. We won it twice, and I'll tell you a little story. It's really quick. Before we won Retailer of the Year, I got to start traveling a lot for CompuStar when I was 24, and so I was going to all these different cities and all over the different places, and I seen almost the whole entire United States from CompuStar. And one thing I loved to do at that time was I wanted to visit a Retailer of the Year. I want to see what the shop is. So for me to be able to make Perfectionist better, I got to visit a lot of shops, and sometimes you're like, "Oh, I like that idea. I'm going to take it back to Perfectionist," or whatever. And so that's when I gave myself the goal. Okay, I want to win Retailer of the Year. I know we can do it. And I really didn't have an idea. And it's kind of funny is you'll see in the video our binder that back in the day we didn't do videos. We did a binder of how we could do it. And I think that a lot of the stuff we were doing, nobody was doing. Because remember, one thing I said was, when I got this shop, it was the worst shop in Alaska. So it took me a long time to get away from that. And so my goal for myself was, if anybody ever comes to Alaska, I want them to see what a Retailer of the Year looks like. So in my head, we're Retailer of the Year every day, and anybody's welcome to come to Alaska, and because every day we're on point. But why do I believe we should be, the 3-time Retailer of the Year? So for me, I'm in my 25th anniversary. I've been doing this for 34 years. And you know what? I've made it through the worst shop really in the Pacific Northwest, doing $300,000 a year, built the business into a multi-million-dollar business. And we survived economy crashes. We survived, natural disasters. We survived COVID. We survived inflation. We survived all these things, and we're thriving. And we help the industry. We're teaching at events. We're, participating in events. We started multiple brands. We're part of other brands. And all these brands are prospering because of the passion that we put into this industry. And I believe that in my heart. I believe that anybody that comes to my shop is going to see what a Retailer of the Year is. You're going to see passion. You're going to see customer service. You're going to see beautiful installs. You're going to see excellence. And that's what it's about. Some people lose touch of that, but that's something I haven't lost touch with in 25 years. I constantly am working on improving the shop, improving the vibe, improving the industry. And, you're going to hear different stuff from all kinds of people, but look at the history that, Perfectionist Auto Sound has, myself that I have, my staff that I have. You know, we all try to give back to this industry. And I think that's the most important thing about being retailer of the year.